Welcome, Win Column family. This is the Win Column. I'm your host, Kev, and today we're going to talk about sports. A lot of new stuff in the news. Coronavirus shut us down, but the NBA is back, and I don't care. Nah, I'm joking with y'all. I care, right? But I don't care. You know what I mean? At least not this whole the scrimmages, the regular season, don't give a damn. What I'm looking forward to, right, is the playoffs, right? I think that pretty much here's my way of looking at the NBA playoffs coming up. There's the Bucks, right? The rest of the East pretty much doesn't exist. And then you have the West, right? Where we have the Lakers, the Clippers, and to me, I'm also looking at the Rockets as a dark horse. I'm looking at the Mavericks to shake something up, to beat somebody, I don't know who. And then I'm looking at if the Trail Blazers find their way into the 8th seed with a healthy Nurkic, Carmelo's balling, that's trouble. That's not a real 8th seed. That's not a real 8th seed. You're talking about a team that was playing in the Western Conference Finals just last year. If the Lakers draw that as their first round opponent, I think they are still able to win that series with their size. I mean, they have an array and assortment of big players, but I think that's a tough series. So what I'm waiting for, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm a little bit asleep, right? And I'll wake up when the playoffs start. So that's when I'm setting my alarm. So with that being said, what else is in the news? We have Antonio Brown. We finally know the fate of Antonio Brown. It's an 8-game suspension. I'm going to tell you guys right now, I listened to his album, Himothy, today. I thought it was going to be 12 games, at least 14 games, something like that. I thought that the commissioner was just going to be like, you know what, we going with something indefinite. I don't know. Himothy is so bad. But then I listened to Soulja Boy's album, and that was worse. I mean, a rapper makes a worse album than an athlete. But at the end of the day, Antonio Brown is back. So the question is, where will he end up? I'll tell you where he'll end up. He'll end up in Baltimore. You must come to Baltimore, Antonio. Look, you get to play Steelers twice a year. After your 8th game, the game that you would come back for is the game against New England. So you get some, you get a little bit of revenge because they cut you, you get to play, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Come on, Antonio, come to Baltimore, man. I don't care who doesn't like it. I love it. I really don't have any ifs, ands, or buts about it. He's an elite player. When he's on the field, he's elite. And people say, but you got to worry about your locker room. That's true, okay? I'm fine with that, though. And one of the reasons that I think that, the biggest reason I want him to come to Baltimore, and I think he will, at the end of the day, I'm a Ravens fan. That's what I want to see happen, right? But also, you have the support of Lamar Jackson. You have his cousin, Hollywood Brown, there. Like I said, you have 2 games against the Steelers per year if you do a 2-3 year contract. His first game out of suspension will be against the Patriots, who also cut him last year. I mean, they had to, they should have at the end of the day. But listen, man, come on. Let's get Antonio in Baltimore. Let me know what you guys think about that down in the comments. And finally, the last thing I want to talk to you guys about today, I don't know what it is, so Jason is going to tell me.
Top 1 NFL.
Top NFL, top 100. We got people that are getting so upset about this. A lot of people have a lot of problems with the NFL top 100, and one of the main things that we're hearing is Lamar Jackson being number 1 over Patrick Mahomes. Now, I'm going to keep it 100 with y'all, man. I'm going to keep it NFL 100 with y'all. Lamar shouldn't be the number 1 overall player on that list. I'm a Ravens guy. I'm getting some reactions from my Ravens people back there. Lamar shouldn't be the number 1 guy on the list, man. Look. Hear me out. Look, I'm upset. I'm upsetting my team here. Look, Lamar, that's my boy. But you got to be able to go with the reality over your heart, okay? At the end of the day, Patrick Mahomes right now is the best player in the NFL, right? But here's the thing. When they say the voting was done was in November, right? Players who were voting at the time, and they say about 57% of players voted. That's pretty good. If you got 57% voting for damn near anything, that's a lot of people when it's all said and done, right? You want about over half. So everybody was caught up in the Lamar storm at that particular time. But if you don't start the voting until after the Super Bowl, everybody will be on Patrick Mahomes. Now, I don't get the knocks on Patrick Mahomes because I've been hearing a lot of them ever since the whole top 100. I've been hearing that he's, an Andy Reid product. I've been hearing that his team is really, 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 really good and all that jazz, right? All of that stuff may be valid, but at the end of the day, 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns, followed by a Super Bowl and a Super Bowl MVP. Every game in the playoffs, they were down by double digits and ended up winning each game by double digits. He was the most dominant player in the playoffs, outside of like Derrick Henry. So at the end of the day, he deserves that number one spot. But what I'm not gonna let y'all do though, y'all not gonna knock my boy Lamar though. It's not like he didn't just win the MVP. It's not like he isn't an elite player, but I think that all came down to when the voting was done. Honestly, outside of that, I didn't have a problem with the list. I mean, some people think that Aaron Rodgers is too high, some think he's too low, some think Tom Brady is too high. I think that might be true, but at the end of the day, it wasn't like a lot of guys that I were like, where is this guy on the list? You guys may feel differently. If you do, hop in the comments, fight with me like you guys always do. At the end of the day, I'll be willing to come in and, spar with y'all a little bit. Unless you say something ridiculous, I don't argue with fools. So at the end of the day, that's how I feel about stuff. But we got a bonus for y'all. It's called the loss column. Who is catching L's? I'm going to tell y'all who catching L's. So we got the voluntary opt-outs in the NFL. And look, man, I mean, I'm going to keep it 100 with y'all. We got about, 4 million cases confirmed of COVID? 5 million? What is it? It's about 160, 150, 60 something deaths right now. My thoughts go out to all the family, all the people out there who've lost somebody to COVID. At the end of the day, I mean, it's a serious thing, right? And we want to stop the spread. I trip off people who don't want to wear a mask and all those other things, right? So I'm just trying to get all of the prerequisite, I take COVID serious stuff out of the way. But at the end of the day, some of these athletes, man, I mean, for real, this voluntary opt-out list, again, as a Raven, DeAnthony Thomas and Andre Smith, y'all just trying to hold roster spots to next year. Both of y'all is probably going to get cut. Come on, man. That's nonsense. Maurice Kennedy, I know him. He played for the Cowboys. I mean, I know that guy. Use a roster bubble guy. Some of these dudes are roster bubble guys who see the opportunity to push their contract and their roster spot to next year, and that's what they're doing. All of y'all get L's. The higher risk opt-outs, Chandler Brewer, whoever the hell that is, Michael Pierce, UBama, Marcus Cannon from the Patriots, Caleb Brantley from the Washington football team. That's a damn shame. All of y'all are high risk. You guys, whatever. But oh my goodness, the Jets, you get your own L for the opt-outs because CJ Mosley is on the unspecified opt-out list, which to me is like, look, I don't want to play. I don't feel like playing. CJ Mosley, that's going to be 2 years that the Jets got nothing out of that contract. I knew it. CJ Mosley it's not in him. He doesn't have it. And at the end of the day, the Jets don't have it because they don't have him. So L's for everybody who opted out because listen, you guys are young, you guys are healthy. At the end of the day, statistically, you're going to be fine. You're going to be okay. Go out there and play football. I know people and it depends on where you are. I know kids that are going to play football and stuff like that. And we got grown men who get paid to do it who don't want to. I'm not with it. Y'all all get L's. The Jets, you get an L. I get a W. That's the win column. What am I doing with my hands? That's the win column. I'm out.